Zekkyou Collection is a 1999 adaptation based on stories by manga author Inuki Kanako. She isn't very well known, but some people consider her a sort of female counterpart to Junji Ito. Her works often revolve around children, and this film focuses specifically on school kids dying in violent ways. The story introduces a boy named Bukita-kun, someone everyone avoids because of his looks and odd personality. He's obsessed with a classmate named Matsuko, whom he constantly harasses. She rejects him in a harsh, humiliating way. Heard by this, Bukita-kun runs into the street and is fatally hit by a truck. Sometime later, Matsuko feels relieved to be rid of him and throws away the gift he had given her. Bukita-kun had died thinking she loved him deep down, so he returns as a sort of zombie and begins stalking her even more directly. Terrified, Matsuko finds the discarded gift and destroys it, hoping that would end everything. But nothing changes. The next day, Bukita-kun is still there, professing his love even after death. Desperate, she runs away from him and ends up dying in a traffic accident as well, leaving Bukita-kun alone and heartbroken. This is how the movie begins. It's about 40 minutes long, and this is only the first story. The rest follow the same pattern. Bukita-kun falls for a girl, she meets him, he harasses her, she's disgusted, she runs, and she dies. Most of them unfold like this, at least until the ending. The film leans more into psychological horror than gore. There are barely any graphic scenes. The unsettling part is simply Bukita-kun himself, a relentless stalker searching for someone to love him but approaching people in completely the wrong way. The dialogue could be stronger, but the movie is still interesting to watch. What stands out the most, aside from the unpleasant character designs with bulging eyes and distorted faces, is the gloomy, dark, oppressive atmosphere, which is surprisingly effective. Another detail is the symbolism of butterflies. Bukita-kun likes catching them, and the movie draws a parallel between that hobby and the way he pursues girls, suggesting that to him, they are like wild butterflies he's trying to trap. Devilman Crybaby introduces us to Akira, a boy too sensitive for the world he lives in. He cries for others' pain and lives with the Makimura family, especially close to Miki, the love of his life. Everything changes when his childhood friend Ryo suddenly reappears with a chilling warning. Demons exist, and they're infiltrating human society. To prove it, Ryo takes Akira to an underground party called the Sabbath. There, all hell breaks loose, literally. Demons reveal themselves and begin slaughtering everyone. But the massacre isn't random, it's part of Ryo's plan to provoke a powerful demon named Amon into possessing Akira. And it works. But Akira doesn't lose himself, he keeps his heart, and in doing so, he becomes Devilman, a being with the power of a demon and the soul of a human. From that moment on, Akira vows to use his strength to protect humanity, especially Miki. As Akira fights the growing demon threat, the world begins to unravel. Ryo, now a public figure, exposes the existence of demons to the masses, unleashing hysteria, paranoia, and bloodshed. People start turning on each other. Humanity becomes more monstrous than the demons themselves. Then comes betrayal. Ryo fabricates a video framing Akira as a threat to humanity. From there, it all spirals. Akira's adoptive family is brutally murdered. Miko, Miki's rival, becomes a Devilman herself and joins Akira's cause. But it's not enough. The violence spreads like wildfire. Miki is hunted down by a human mob and murdered along with her friends. When Akira finds her mutilated body, he breaks. That moment becomes the end of who he was. Fueled by grief, he leads an army of Devilmen into open war against Ryo's demon forces. The world burns, and in the chaos, the truth is finally revealed. Ryo isn't human, not even a demon. He's Satan, banished from heaven, reborn on Earth with no memory of his past. Until now, he remembers everything. His goal was never to protect Akira or humanity. It was to destroy them, to wage war on God. But what he didn't expect was to fall in love with Akira. In the final battle, Akira dies, and Ryo, now fully Satan, sits beside his body. He talks, he reminisces, he laughs. But Akira is gone forever. and for the first time, Satan cries, embracing a corpse in a dead world. Transformers, 1986. Transformers had one of the best animated runs in history during the 80s. This movie was based on the animated TV series, featuring a script that was widely criticized at the time for its darker tone compared to the show. The movie begins with a massive mechanical planet, Unicron, voiced by Orson Welles, traveling through space and devouring planets inhabited by robots to consume their energy. The action takes place in the year 2005 on Cybertron. After a Decepticon attack, a great battle breaks out in which the Autobots are nearly annihilated. Unlike the animated series, in this film, characters who fall in battle actually die, and several familiar characters from the show are destroyed in combat. Transformers the movie set a precedent, as it was perhaps the first in the action genre where at a certain point you weren't sure the good guys were going to win. Things become terribly difficult for the protagonists, to the point of becoming downright depressing. The hardest part of the movie, and the moment considered the most traumatizing, is the death of Optimus Prime. After a battle with Megatron, Optimus Prime's damage is irreparable and fatal. Before dying, Optimus passes the matrix of leadership to Ultra Magnus. The scene is so well executed, thanks in part to the dialogue, and so emotional that, with all due respect, it stands on a level far superior to any traumatic attempt in the Bay movies. This moment reportedly caused children across the United States to cry in theaters. The Decepticons, while attempting to flee, jettison their dead and wounded, including Megatron, into space. Unicron finds them and offers Megatron a new body in exchange for destroying the Matrix, transforming him into Galvatron. In the climax, Galvatron destroys Ultra Magnus and seizes the Matrix. The Autobots arrive at Cybertron just as Unicron begins consuming it. Inside Unicron's body, Hot Rod fights Galvatron and manages to obtain the Matrix. The Matrix opens, transforming Hot Rod into Rodimus Prime, who destroys Unicron from the inside with its power. This was an incredibly dark animated film, the kind they just don't make anymore. Although critical reception was negative at the time, it eventually became a cult classic and is now much more highly appreciated. Coonskin. Although the title might make it seem like an extremely racist film, it's actually a fierce critique of racism and the stereotypes that white culture has projected onto the African American community. Ralph Bakshi uses provocation as a tool to dismantle those very same cliches. The film was released during the Blaxploitation era, a movement that brought visibility to black characters but was also criticized for reinforcing stereotypes. Coonskin was attacked even before its release. Groups like CORE labeled it racist and threatened to boycott it. However, some community leaders who attended a private screening changed their minds after seeing the film. The story unfolds on two levels. In the live-action frame, two prisoners attempt to escape while one of them tells an animated story. In that tale, three characters, Brother Rabbit, Brother Bear, and Preacher Fox, arrive in Harlem after losing their home. There, they confront corrupt power structures, racist cops, the mafia, false prophets, and systems of oppression that exploit their community. As they climb the social ladder, they face off against the Godfather, symbol of institutional violence, and various criminal groups. One of the most striking elements of the film is the character Miss America, an allegory for violent nationalism and repression. Though she appears only briefly, her visual presence became one of the film's defining images. The narrative is intentionally chaotic, a story within a story, mixed with symbolic sequences, racial satire, violence, and social commentary. This disoriented many viewers on their first watch. Still, the film's political and irreverent subtext is clear. Despite its commercial failure, Bakshi never backed down. He considers Coonskin one of his bravest works. Today, it remains a cult film, hard to classify, but still relevant for its blunt satire of racism, cultural hypocrisy, and systemic inequality. Fantastic Planet is a French animated film released in 1973. The animation was created using cutout techniques, giving it a unique and surreal look. It's about a race of giant blue aliens who enslave the human race. Throughout the film, there are disturbing scenes, like alien children making two women fight for entertainment, and another where a human child escapes and sees the aliens meditating, turning it all into nightmare fuel and a terrifying psychedelic trip. The artistic style can feel unpleasant because it's extremely hallucinatory. Across forums all over the internet, Fantastic Planet is often described as one of the films that traumatized many kids, and most people can't finish it because of how implicitly disturbing the visuals are. Fantastic Planet became a cult classic because of its artistic style, eerie soundtrack, and strange visuals. Many people remember it as one of the most unsettling animated films they saw as kids. Madoka Magica. Don't let the character designs fool you. This anime is far darker than it looks at first glance. Everything begins in the fictional city of Mitakahara, Japan. Middle school student Madoka and her friend Sayaka stumble upon a strange magical creature named Kyubey. He offers them the chance to make a contract with him, their greatest wish granted in exchange for supernatural powers that will allow them to transform into magical girls. Their mission is to fight demonic beings known as witches, malicious creatures born from darkness, invisible to ordinary humans. These witches are extremely dangerous and are responsible for many of the disasters and crimes of modern society, as well as for driving people to take their own lives. Meanwhile, Madoka meets other magical girls, including a mysterious transfer student named Homura, who tries desperately to stop Madoka from making a contract with Kyubey. But at the same time, Kyubey keeps pushing her to accept it, telling her she would become the most powerful magical girl of all. Up to this point, nothing seems out of the ordinary. Magical girls fighting evil. But as the series progresses, it becomes painfully clear that this is not your typical magical girl anime. We realize that these girls are actually dealing with death, isolation, the agony of their wishes cost, and crushing existential crises. Following her friends, Madoka soon witnesses the darker side of being a magical girl, and now that she knows the truth, she wonders whether she should become one herself. The main characters all have different personalities and different reasons for becoming magical girls, which often leads to direct conflict between them. They survive by taking energy from defeated witches to cleanse their soul gems, crystals that hold both their souls and their magical power. If they don't purify their gems, they will eventually turn into witches themselves, and as you can imagine, this often leads to fights among them just to stay alive, both physically and through their various witch-hunting methods. But they all share the same tragedy. Their wishes often bring more harm than good once they come true, whether to themselves or to the people around them. Unicorn War. In an alternate world, colorful bears are at war with unicorns, the ancient inhabitants of the magic forest. The story begins with Maria, a young unicorn who falls into a trap inside a temple filled with deformed apes. A grotesque creature impersonates her mother and chases her, trying to devour her. Maria escapes, but that escape is only the beginning. Meanwhile, at Camp Heart, a group of bear cadets trains for war. Among them are Bluey, a bear obsessed with perfection, and Tubby, his brother, marginalized for being overweight and clumsy. Bluey constantly mistreats Tubby, publicly humiliating him for wetting the bed and using him as a pack mule. The Bible, the bears worship, prophesies that whoever drinks the blood of the last unicorn will become eternal and beautiful, and Bluey begins to believe he is the chosen one. During a mission to the Magic Forest, the bears descend into a spiral of madness and depravity. They eat colorful bugs that trigger grotesque hallucinations. One bear stabs his own twin, thinking he's a monster. Another hangs himself from a tree after a bad trip. Later, Maria's mother is brutally murdered by the bears, shot with arrows and stabbed repeatedly. Only Maria survives. Despite the casualties, Bluey manipulates the military system and is promoted to army leader. He launches a campaign to destroy the Magic Forest. The bears burn it down and initiate an open massacre against the unicorns. Amid the chaos, Tubby tries to protect Maria, but Bluey, blinded by prophecy and hatred, fires a cannon shot that gravely wounds her. And then comes the ending. Among the rubble and charred bodies, only 3 remain: Tubby, Bluey, and Maria. Tubby tries to help the wounded unicorn, but Bluey murders him with a blow to the head. He kisses Maria and slits her throat with his knife, believing he is fulfilling the prophecy. Then he eats her flesh and drinks her blood, convinced he will become beautiful and eternal. But what follows is an abomination. Maria's body mutates into a black, viscous creature that first absorbs Tubby, then Bluey. From that shapeless mass is born a new dominant being, a human. The deformed apes who have witnessed everything kneel before their new idol. Thus ends the era of magical creatures, and the era of man begins. The Animals of Farthing Wood is a British animated series that aired in 1993. The story is about the animals of a park who must move because humans are driving them out. Led by Fox and guided by Toad, they go on a dangerous journey to reach a nature reserve called White Deer Park. Along the way, many animals die from predators, traps, and the dangers of crossing human territory. It's a children's series, I warn you, but it's not about action, not about adventure, but about drama. Although it was made for children, the series has strong themes of loss, survival, and the impact of humans on nature. Many people remember it for the sadness of watching beloved animal characters die, sometimes in very graphic ways for a children's show. Over time, The Animals of Farthing Wood became known as one of the darkest animated series ever shown on children's television. It left a lasting impression on viewers who watched it as kids.